So, if you've ever gotten one of my community posts on your timeline on YouTube, you might have caught a glimpse of what I'm working on. But I'm actually working on a grammar guide to help people quickly learn everyday common grammar expressions, because I think a lot of people know vocab, but not how to make the actual sentence. So I've been hard at work writing this guide the past few weeks. It's actually still very far from complete, but today I wanted to show you a sample of sorts of the type of grammar points that you can expect. I'll be going over higher beginner or lower intermediate kind of grammar points that are crucial to, making sentences and expressing yourself. Anyway, that's enough explaining. Let's go over some grammar points that will come up in the guide. So without any further ado, let's go. The first grammar point we're going to talk about today is toyu. Toyu is a grammatical construction that combines the quotation particle to and the verb you. And at its most basic function, it means that someone has said something. So we use this when somebody else told us something. Yoku Hokkaido ga suki da toyu means I say I like Hokkaido a lot. Note that in this usage, it might be more common to use kanji for toyu instead of writing it in hiragana. But that is actually not the usage that we're going to talk about today. Today we're talking about toyu as a set phrase. And as a set phrase, toyu actually shows out what people call something. For example, Hokkaido toyu tokoro ga suki. I like a place called Hokkaido. So the toyu here actually just tells us what that tokoro, that place, is called, Hokkaido. And if we use toyu like this, the hiragana spelling might be a bit more common than the kanji spelling. In addition, we can also use toyu for what people actually call themselves, like a name. You could say, Mari to iimasu, which means something like, I am called Mari. In casual speech, toyu might turn into teyu or teyu, like, nante ieba ii daro na, which means, I wonder what to say. So instead of nantoyu, it becomes nante without the small tsu. Netherland dwarf っていう種類のウサギが好きです. I like the breed called the Netherland dwarf. So saying teyu instead of toyu is just a more casual and colloquial way. The next grammar point we're going to touch on today is yori. So translated to natural English, this word would be equivalent to something like than or more than. But for explanation's sake, let's work with a different translation, that being from. The from I'm talking about is, for example, when you're looking at a letter, you're likely to see something like Tanaka yori, from Tanaka, or by Tanaka. So physically, it expresses a point of departure, like the letter is coming from Tanaka, the one who wrote it, to you. So the origin or the point of departure of that letter is Tanaka. But let's get to the point. If we take this physical meaning a bit further, like metaphorically speaking, it can be thought of as a point of comparison. Therefore, the common English translation as than. For example, neko wa hito yori toshi o toru no ga hayai. This example roughly translates to cats age quicker than humans. And here we are taking the neko or the cat as our point of comparison to humans. If we go back to the physical meaning, that of from, this could also be translated as going from cats instead of than humans. This is an explanation working with translations that textbooks or other common learning resources might not use. But personally, it did help me deepen my grammar knowledge and understanding this grammar a little bit better. But I also know there might be some people out there that are a bit confused by this, so here's some more example sentences. 今日は昨日より暑いです. It's hotter today than yesterday. Or, going from yesterday, today is hotter. So, yesterday is the point we are going from, our point of departure, or, in this case, comparison. 最近、yen はドルより安い. The yen is weaker than the dollar recently. Or, going from the dollar, the yen is weaker. So you can kind of see how the order of the object that is being compared to kind of changes in the English translation. Next up is the grammar point soda. Soda in Japanese expresses hearsay. So in English, this would be something like, it said that, or I heard that, or it seems like ... Translations for these types of grammar are usually a little bit tricky, as a lot of nuance might be lost in translation. In addition, there's a lot of ways to express this type of concept in Japanese. But today, we're only going to focus on soda for now. 猫の6歳は人の40歳と大体同じだそうだ. This means they say 6 years old for a cat is roughly the same as 40 for a person. This soda expresses that the information of the sentence is acquired through other people rather than yourself. This is a different usage from the other soda that exists in the Japanese language. This other soda is more like first-hand information, so things you're noticing by yourself and you're pointing that out. So if you use that soda, that actually implies more that you've seen stuff firsthand and are reporting on it, or that something is about to happen. But that is a completely different grammar point, and we're not going to cover it in this video. 君は昨夜ずいぶん多くの命を救ったそうだね。噂では田中さんがついに職を得たそうだ. And to round things off for today, here are two grammar structures that are actually quite simple. The first one is kata, which comes from this kanji. The kanji itself means kind of like method, manner, way, etc. And in this case means way of or how to do something. So it's quite forward in construction. Just get the mas stem of your verb and add kata. The mas stem, also known as renyoke in Japanese, is actually pretty easy to get. Take any verb, let's say 使う, and turn it into the polite mas form. 使います. What we gotta do now is just cut the mas off so we get 使い. Now add kata, 使い方, the way to use something. パソコンの使い方がわかりません. Or take another verb, for example, 作る, to make. Just turn that bad boy into 作ります, remove the mas, and then add kata. ケーキの作り方知ってますか? がする is a construction of the subject marking particle が and the verb する. It describes that you sense something with one of your, senses. Smell, hear, taste, etc. For example, ひどい匂いがする means that it stinks, it reeks, something smells absolutely awful, or literally, bad smell does. You can also say 人の声がする I hear people's voices, or literally, people's voices do. So as you can see, it depends on the sentence, which type of sense we're actually talking about. This might be a little bit tricky initially because, in English, we have dedicated words and expressions for all of the senses. But once you get used to it, it actually comes in really handy because you only need to use one expression to talk about you sensing something, whether it be seeing, smelling, feeling, whatever. このクッキーは生姜の味がする. This cookie tastes like ginger. Or literally, as for this cookie, ginger's taste does. It still doesn't feel right in English, does it? But I promise it does get easier to understand once you got used to using it by yourself. You can also combine this grammar with ki, which means like a feeling. To say, I feel like something. So, 間に合わない気がする. I feel like he won't make it in time. Or literally, don't make it in time, feeling does. There's also a slangy version, 気がする, which might be used online sometimes. I actually haven't seen this used myself, but you might encounter it on, like message boards or other websites. And yeah, this is pretty much all I had to say. I'm not sure when the guide will be released. It'll be done when it's done. But I wanted to show you guys what this guide could be, and maybe it'll be useful to you. I actually used to teach Japanese a pretty long while ago, so returning to this makes me feel very, very fulfilled, and I hope you're gonna get something out of it too. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos, and like the video if you liked it. And if you want to donate, the link to my Ko-fi is in the description down below. Alternatively, you can also become a carrot giver or a member on YouTube. And yeah, members will also get shoutouts at the end of the videos, like all of these beautiful people. That's all I had to say. Thank you for watching all the way until the end and supporting me as always. I'll see you in the next one and have a great day. Mata Nera! Bye bye!